Hey guys, Digital Sticks here, and I'm going to discuss a little bit more about VRChat, VR, and different things, and what better way to do that than to use a female avatar and give the boomers something to freak out about. But welcome to VR. What, 90% of the dudes you talk to in VR are going to be using female avatars? Why? There's all kinds of different opinions about it, but you know what? You're going to reach a point that it doesn't matter, and you do whatever you feel for whyever you feel it. For some people, it's vain. They like anime. They like to look at themselves in the mirror as something else, or whatever. But like for me, this avatar, somebody had it while I was in between avatars. Like I wasn't quite happy with the custom one I tried to make. I lost track of the other one I mostly used, and I just hadn't been playing. So I got a point where one wolf boy looked like another wolf boy, and nothing really represented me. Like, I don't like the heavy tattoos that are on a lot of them. I'd rather not have devil horns. And then, it's just really hard without having the time to learn Blender again. Because I did get a good crash course in it that I turned around and haven't touched again, so I'll be starting over. Anyways, it's really hard to find something to really click with, but I like to have something to identify with. Well, somehow this avatar caught my attention in that regard, and it really was in spite of it being a female avatar as opposed to because of it. But as you've seen from my other video, finally one came along that I really jived with, and that's this one. And for me, green's my favorite color, and I'm not into anime in real life, and I'm not familiar with this or that, but so finding green in the game really represents me. This avatar I like because I don't have a problem with the wolf boy thing, other than being so copied now, but look, no crazy tattoos or anything, reasonable clothing, tracks well. Got some nice green elements that I really like and jive with, but this is me. I don't try to be outrageous. I just try to be myself, and I don't I don't try to create an image. I just go with my own. My most unique thing at the moment is I'm growing my hair out, so that looks sloppy for the moment, and so I'm not really conforming with what society might expect of me at the moment, but I'm not out to make an outrageous statement either. Not myself. That's just not how I express myself. Welcome to VRChat. However you care to express yourself, you can. Other people are going to do the same. There is no such thing as biological sex in virtual reality, so don't worry about it. But that said and done, that is not the point of this video. So let me go back to a more pleasant looking self. I don't use VRChat to make these videos to hide myself, but I definitely look better in VR than I do in real life. I don't have a problem admitting that, but more importantly, it's a pain in the ass to get lighting correct in a room, and my room is not some professional studio. I don't make money off of this at this point, or probably ever, and so I don't have the ability to just dedicate everything it would take to do all the polish. So I just come in here, and it's mostly said and done, and I enjoy it. I mean, just putting on a headset and stepping in for a moment, this is a break. Just being in VR, even this boring old home world that we always check into and rush away from. Okay, so the point of this video, the reason I made another one so quickly after just now commenting on my Quest, is because on the hardware discussion, for one, it's noteworthy that VRChat recently is regularly showing up as one of the top played free games. I'm really surprised it hasn't always been there, but it's showing up now, so it's a new arrival. It's probably been there before, but since I've been watching it hasn't been there. That's significant. So with all the headsets being sold, all the hype surrounding the Quest, and the Rift S being the cheapest headset on the market, VRChat has moved up in its popularity on SteamVR, and you can play it through Oculus natively. That's important because there's reasons why people would play it through SteamVR instead. SteamVR is not locked down, so whatever full body solution you come up with for VRChat, it's only going to be available through SteamVR, whether you're using Nolo, whether you're using Vive trackers, or whether you're using Kinect. You have to use SteamVR to add that functionality. And then to have good functionality for streaming, if you want to use the OVR toolkit, again, you need SteamVR. And then finally, just basically, if you're on anything other than an Oculus, you're going to be using SteamVR by default, but Oculus is supposed to be leading the charge on selling devices. And so even people with Oculus that have to run Oculus software for their device to work are still opting for SteamVR. I did that too because I started using the hybrid setup for my trackers. I even had to buy Beat Saber again on SteamVR because I wanted to do mixed reality. And so when you're considering what headset to buy, keep that in mind that Oculus is trying to be your daddy in VR. They want to own you. You are buying a device and then you're limited by what they provide. They're forcing you to have their software running to use SteamVR. SteamVR doesn't do that. It is Oculus forcing you to run their software so that they can get your data, so they can still spy on you, track on you, and know where you've been, and you benefit from all of that data, even though you paid for your device. So keep that in mind. If you get a Valve Index or a Windows HMR or anything like that, you're not being tracked in that regard. There's probably some user data going somewhere, but it's not Facebook. If that's not a problem for you, it's fine for it not to be a problem. But the best of VR is available through SteamVR, which has supported an open platform that has allowed all kinds of developers to create content. And that includes creating an OVR toolkit to manage your desktop, to have windows that you can see and no one else can. Very useful for streaming. You can see your Twitch chat, the works. Obviously, the full body tracking, and even, I was going to demonstrate it, but I'm not using my trackers at the moment, but the play space mover that allows people to float around and change their elevation in VRChat, available through SteamVR. Okay, so I'm not just making this video for SteamVR, but that's another benefit. For one, it's the popularity of VRChat is probably increasing, but secondly, when I'm talking about these reviews and the devices, just know that people are navigating towards SteamVR, which is very significant if they're using an Oculus product. So if Oculus is so great, why are they resorting to Steam for something that's available natively on Oculus? And I'm telling you, it's because the freedom to actually do the things you want to do. I have, even before the Index came out, I'd reached a point that I realized if something was available on Steam and Oculus, I started buying it on Steam because I was free. No matter what headset came out next, I could take it with me. I could still access it. And there was more functionality. For one, mixed reality was, if it was a possibility, it was going to be done through SteamVR, not Oculus. And obviously anything that could use full body tracking had that through SteamVR, not Oculus. So I recognized that trend, and I started. And even when the Quest came out and software could be cross-buy, I still bought software on SteamVR, even though I owned a Quest. If I was going to mainly use it on PC, I only bought it on SteamVR. So, with that said and done, the other thing about it on the Quest, if you don't have a gaming PC, or you can get one, but you're trying to shortchange it, or you don't want to upgrade, or whatever, a lot of focus is on the cost of a gaming PC. And for non-gamers, a gaming PC is very hard to justify. But if you discover VR, even as a non-gamer, you get the added bonus of having a gaming-capable PC. I'm not a gamer, but when I upgraded my PC for VRChat, I have had the privilege of being able to, for the cost of the game, play Wreckfest, which is an absolute blast. I don't put so much time into it that I'm competitive on multiplayer, but I certainly have an absolute ride of a time even playing and earning achievements on offline mode for brief periods of time. The other game I've discovered that I play in VR, but I also play on desktop mode, is Tetris Effects. So I can play it in VR, and that kind of compelled me to buy it, but I've actually found it's enjoyable in desktop mode too. It takes a high-end PC to really enjoy what that game has to offer. I can do that. I play Minecraft with my son. He's lagged all get out on his Switch. I tried to talk him into being interested in a PC version of the game for a gift. Couldn't quite do it. But anyways, I'm not lagged at all. I can max out my settings and play Minecraft with him. And it's a good thing I'm not lagged, because Minecraft gets to me after a while. I don't get motion sickness from most things, but I get Minecraft gets to me in most of the time. I only have a 1080 Ti. I say only. That's a hell of a card even still, but at the time I got it, I could have made a 2080 happen. I just didn't see the value. For me, I'm not an ultra max at any cost kind of person. I wanted my maximum value, and for me that was the 1080 Ti by far. And same thing with my i7 I have. There was the i9s were out there, but the value of a 87K with a 1080 was just like, it's still huge. It's still a great PC. I still have no regrets at stopping at that level. It functions really well. And but for Minecraft, ray tracing has been teased, and it is available in some forms on Java, but if they release that for desktop, I already know that even though the 1080 can't handle ray tracing like a 2080, it can handle it for Minecraft at playable frame rate. So again, something that won't be an option if my VR was primarily a Quest or mobile device or whatever, or if I balked at buying a PC. But since I invested in it and I regularly use it with the VR, it's just an added bonus to have a capable PC. The other thing I do is, obviously, I'm creating content for YouTube. I edit videos. I've always kept video editing in mind as something I wanted a PC for. Well, now I can do it more effortlessly and better than ever. And by itself, I couldn't have justified the level of hardware that I have, but the VR has made it all much more sensible. And so it was a big investment. It's expensive, sure, but it pays back so much better than so many other investments. And so I'd often use the word investment for VR, and some people, especially some younger kids, they're like, investment? What? But that's exactly what it is. It has the potential to give you so much back and be available. It really is an investment. And if you do it right, a good chunk of it, some of the most enjoyable aspects of it, it's not involving monthly subscription fees. You might be teased for the upgrade when stuff comes out, but it's not required. I could still be using my CV1 just fine if I close my eyes to what better could be out there, And so now that I have the Index, I'm hoping that it's going to be a very long time before anything is a tempting upgrade. And I think that should be the case. Although, honestly, the Index is up there. The Index exceeds the capabilities of current consumer PCs. Current PCs, especially at any reasonable cost, cannot max out the capabilities of the Index. So that should give it a lot of longevity in itself. What might change that is new technology, eye tracking, some better wireless stuff, and there's certainly some aspects, some areas where even though the Index looks like it's going to be king of the hill for a very long time, could get undercut, and suddenly something else is compelling. So be it, but it's not going to be a mandate. So this is an investment, and if you go with a high enough quality, that investment will return better than, if you barely enter VR, then you have a short season where you're barely going to enjoy it. But if you invest in quality and give yourself some headroom for better content and to get better quality out of the experience you have, that is an investment that will pay off. VRChat is the most expensive free game anyone could ever get into, but it's worth it, and that investment carries over. You get to benefit from that investment on so many other levels. So I have no regrets. Honestly, I wasn't really aware of how much extra was demanded by streaming over games when I got into it as well. And VRChat encouraging me or leading me, causing me to invest in a computer that I knew could be that I could count on for the duration of college. I wanted to invest in a computer that would be up to snuff for the remainder of my college. In the process, I got a PC that can handle the streaming and all of that, and it was prepared for things that I wasn't prepared to even want. Especially the mixed reality. That is very CPU intensive. I was ready for it. Really cool. So it doesn't get talked about in the hype because people aren't trying to sell you on that stuff, but it is important. And if you can make a better quality investment and better quality hardware, it pays off in ways that don't even immediately meet the eye. So having to get a PC and PCVR for quality VR is not as big of a negative as it seems. It is certainly a barrier of entry for some people. It certainly is hard to obtain. We can't all just casually go out and buy a gaming PC, but it's within reach of more people than we give it credit for if they understood the value of it. And then from there, of course, markets and everything bring things down. The more people that buy into PCs now, the more resale equipment's available for other people later. So, this will all start, if it gets discovered, it will start to go in a direction of affordability and be able to include a lot more people just through the way it normally works. It's just a matter of growing it. And to grow it, you got to have something that people want. So while it's understandable that cheap stuff sells, cheap stuff that nobody wants doesn't sell. And so get into VR with a social VR that's really cool, something that you can't have other than in VR, then you're talking about something that makes it compelling. And when people try it out, that's when suddenly the hardware to run it even better makes a lot more sense. So I thought there was one other thing I was going to share. I had like 3 things come to mind, and I started off on a completely different tangent for this video. But as I said, I just uploaded the video about selling my Quest, and these points came to mind. But that's a big point right there, just how much value, there's more value to a gaming PC than just what it can do for VR, and basically any other use for it is an added bonus. Again, love Wreckfest. I would have never went out and bought a $3,000, I never would have went out and bought a $1,400 PC to play it, plus paid for the game. But when I already had the PC to play it, I bought the game on sale. I bought it half off. I didn't want to spend $50 for it. I didn't mind spending $50 for it. I just didn't have it to spend. So I bought it on sale, but I was ready to grab it on sale because I already had the PC to run it. And then Tetris Effects has been amazingly addictive. So Tetris. I mean, imagine take VR makes Tetris exciting again. We need VR for president. I mean, if VR can make Tetris exciting again, what could it do for people that think America needs to be great again? Just saying, VR for president. No. On a serious note, Best had another point. It's going to come to me and I'm going to be like, oh, but that's it. VR is a good investment. Maybe that was it. So I definitely wanted to make the point about VRChat moving up on Steam. That shows you what people are excited about when they're using this. That means this game is gaining in popularity, and SteamVR capabilities are enhancing the game, and people are catching on to that. And I think one of the number one things is the full body tracking, which there is no native solution for Oculus devices. Your only native supported device for full body tracking new right now is the Index or the Vive Pro. And now that's going to change when HTC releases the Steam tracking version of the Cosmos, but that's still going to be a hard sell using Vive wands instead of Index controllers, although they might get a little bit of leadway because of the thumbstick issue that Valve is not properly handling with the Index. So that said, gosh, those wands versus other controllers are just such a awful proposition. Hopefully they get it together. Maybe HTC has learned a lesson and they realize they need to make some touch style controllers that work with SteamVR, and then maybe we're set. Then maybe we have competition, good options within good tracking, and we'll be headed in the right direction instead of all the nonsense that's been going on. All right, so I digress. VRChat is popular on Steam for a reason, even with Oculus users. So your best advantage of those features is going to be through a PCVR headset. And if you buy a PC for VR, you have a PC for anything you can use it for. And you'd be surprised at what you'd use it for when you already have it. VR video production and games that are awesome, fun to play, but not worth buying a PC for, suddenly are just a matter of buying the game. And good grief, was there something else? Obviously I started off with the boomer shock value by being in a female avatar. You can express yourself by whatever clicks with you in VR. Like I said, some people it's vain. It's pretty vain about it, but other people it's something deeper that we don't even understand. Like myself with this avatar, it's not that it's female. It's like the rest of the vibes that this gives off. While I was stuck without anything I identified with, I really enjoyed this one. So, anyways, I digress. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe, and I'm out of here. I've got more important things I'm supposed to be doing today. Take care.